So in today's episode, I want to talk about complacency. You see, what happens when people become complacent is they fall into a repetitive, everyday cycle, that 9 to 5, that reoccurring pattern that is safe and simple, and they know it, and but the downside to it is that it becomes that pattern, that same thing every single day, and it becomes stagnant. It doesn't change, it doesn't grow, it doesn't improve upon itself, and nothing actually comes of it. And I think that is completely detrimental to, a society or me personally, who, wants to continue to grow in every day and wants to continue to learn and continue to be better. And if you want to be successful, you have to continue to improve. You have to continue to change, because nothing is stagnant. And as soon as you fall into that complacency, you fall behind. You've probably heard that if you find something that you enjoy to do, you'll never work a day in your life. I think there's a lot of value in that. I think that is true, that if you have something that you're actually passionate about, that drives you, that is the reason that you wake up in the morning, and every time you're not doing that, you are constantly thinking about that and challenging yourself to do better, that motivation, that motivation, that drive, and that passion fosters growth, fosters improvement, and makes you better at doing whatever it is that you enjoy. But for a lot of people, they think that that's completely out of the question. They think that, well, I like to do this, this is what I'm really good at, but it's not going to pay the bills. It's not going to, it's not a job per se. It's not something that I could actually get away with doing for the rest of my life. And so they just follow, I guess that's one side, that's one way of thinking. The other side is that it's just the process that you go from school, maybe you go to college, then you get a job, and you're in that job and for the rest of eternity, and that's just what people are used to, and that seems to be the plan. And for a little bit, I almost fell into that. Like I was almost part of that, where I thought, after school, get the job, and maybe things can start to relax. But the truth is that post-college, when you're in your early 20s, moving into the 30s, that's the time to go and take risks, take chances, and actually pursue what you're passionate about. Find a way to turn that drive and that passion into, a job in a way that you can support yourself, because, that's what you're going to be good at. That's what you're going to actually do 24/7, because it's not going to be a job to you. It's going to be something that you're super passionate about, that you're constantly thinking about, constantly thinking to improve, and that's where you can be the best that you will ever be. Is it something that you have that passion, that commitment, and that desire to actually, show up and do better each and every day with. So, a lot of people get caught up though in, how do I make that happen? How do I take what I love? Is it even feasible that, my passion becomes something that I can do on my own and possibly do full time and spend all my time doing this? And, I think that it's a perception. I think one is perception, and two is, perception, confidence, and fear, I think, are probably the top three, if I had to list reasons why people don't do this, why it's so few far and in between the people that you see that are actually pursuing the dreams and the ones that don't. I don't think, I think especially in today, there is a low barrier to entry, that there are, with the internet and social media, there is almost unlimited ways that anybody, the barrier to entry is open to everybody, regardless of your age, to pursue what you're doing, because you can foster, you can create a community, you can connect, you can, get your product or your idea in front of somebody who, or in front of an audience or a customer base or consumer base, and just market. You can market to, all these avenues as well. And that is something that, what didn't exist 10, 15, 20 years ago, that the generations coming up now have access to this. So, especially now, but it's not just the new generations, it's everybody. Everybody has blanket access to this stuff. So it's just, this time is a great time for anybody to start taking advantage of this and pursue what they want to do, regardless if you're 60 years old and you've wanted to do something all your life. You could take advantage of this opportunity. If you're coming right out of school and you want to have this non-traditional employment where you become an entrepreneur, you create your own business, you create your own product, or you follow your dreams and your passion, do what you love. So fear, I know that people like what's easy. People like that, what everybody else is doing. There is security in that, meaning that it is safe. It is a safe bet that you will survive. You will be able to do something if you follow that path. But the mass producers, the ones that reach the top, the successful ones, don't let fear stop them. The only thing that's going to stop you from doing anything is fear. Fear is just going to stop you dead in your tracks, and it's going to keep you from doing anything. So step one is just to believe that you can do it, and to take the risk and be a risk taker, especially if you're coming right out of school. Like, you could blow the next 10 years and start over when you're 30 and be completely fine and succeed if you fall back to something that's regular. So I think that you definitely got to get over that fear, and how you're to help get over that fear is to increase your confidence, to be confident, to know that you will not fail, to have that confidence. But that's the perception. The perception is that I can't do that. But the reality is that now is the best time to take advantage of what is available, of social media, of marketing, of the low barrier to entry, the low cost to entry, all of these things. I think in addition to that, the perception is that, well, I can't do that. That is for somebody else, that I don't possess the skills required to do that. And I think that is a mix of the fear talking. If you actually do the research and look at the people that become successful, it's not because anybody possesses something that somebody else doesn't, that somebody is more intelligent or smarter or a genius, or somebody that came from money. That those are not, sometimes it sets you in a better place to start. None of those are limiters in the sense that if you don't have one of them, that you are not able to become successful this way. But the perception is that only those are the types of people that can live this type of lifestyle. But the reality is that it's not. It comes with the hard work, the dedication, the passion, don't letting fear stop you, having confidence, and getting this perception out of your head and knowing that you can do this. You're just an average person, but you work harder and you work smarter and you hustle more than the next person, then that sets you above everybody else that's around you. So that's the thing. That's what you need to possess, and that comes completely from inside you and isn't an external factor or something that is limiting you from the outside. That is completely internal, and that's a mindset that you need to have to know that if I work, if I hustle, if I do better than everyone else around me, that is up to me, that is my decision, and I'm going to do that. I'm not going to let anybody stop me. I'm not going to be afraid. I'm going to have the confidence. I'm going to show up and not stop. So yeah, and then that goes to the confidence, and that natural confidence where you have to almost fake it till you make it, because maybe you haven't made it and it's still uncertain, but you know that it's going to happen. So you have to walk the walk and talk the talk. You have to have that confidence, that air, not that ego, not that chip on your shoulder, but just that confidence that it's going to happen. That you're doing what you want to do, that you are in control, and that's going to push you further. That's going to break down the doors of fear. That's going to get you out there. That's going to get you known, and people are going to respect that. People are going to pick up on that. People are going to want that aura, that feeling, that awesomeness that you bring with you to everything that you're involved in, that love, that passion that's shining through because you're doing what you want to do, and you're good at it because you're doing what you want to do. It's what you're good at. It's what you specialize in. It's your focus, and this is your life, and so why wouldn't you be happy about it? So those three things, like that perception, getting over that perception and knowing that you are able to do this, having the confidence that's going to come with that. And as you become confident, you're going to become more confident because you're going to start to see results coming, and then you're going to start to see that this is actually happening, and then things are going to start to happen, and that confidence is just going to become natural. And then that fear, it's going to go away. That fear exists now and you're starting out. but it's going to start backing up, and you're going to start replacing that with confidence, and then that's when you start to see the return. You start to see becoming more successful, and you're going to start living a life that you actually want to show up every day, that you want to innovate, you want to be better at, that you naturally are good at. You're naturally becoming better because you're putting in more than 8 hours. You're putting in days into something that you actually enjoy. So those are the things that I think really stop people from doing it. And if you can get yourself over that, and you can start moving through that, and then you can start positioning yourself where you have a life and you have a career and you have a job that you're in control of. I've told people ask when they ask me what I do or how I ended up doing what I'm doing. I just say I took what I was good at, or I took what I enjoyed, and I found a way to profit off of it. I found a way to invest, to help other people, to provide a product or provide offer my education, my experience to other people to help move them along. Sort of like what I'm doing now. It's a constant wanting to give back and help other people, and it wasn't anything special. It was just taking the time and figuring it out, making a plan, and then continually working at the plan and not letting anybody stop me from reaching those goals. So that's kind of my thoughts for today. It's even if you do prefer to have a 9-to-5 and those set hours, and separate the work from the family, because that's a reality here. I mean, when you start saying that I want to be in control of my life and my job and my future, things start to bleed, things start to cross over, and sometimes it can be very difficult to have a family life and a work life and keep those separate. So if you do want to have that set work hours and then that family life, that's fine, but and I'm not saying to not that is wrong. I'm saying that don't become complacent. That's what we want to fight here. We want to find a way to innovate, to make your job better. Don't settle, challenge the reasons and the processes and why you do what you do. Continue to ask questions, continue to search out a better way, network with people and ask them questions, because you start to reach across that aisle and see that there are similar problems in different industries, and each industry solves them a little bit differently, and maybe you could pull from those industries and those organizations that kind of have the similar problems as yours into your industry and come up with a creative solution for some of the problems that you're having. So, that's the bottom line here. Don't become complacent. If you want to be in control of your future and you want to have something that's a little non-traditional, it's entirely possible. And if you're looking for a place to get started, hit me up in the comments, hit me up on Twitter, let me know what sort of obstacles or walls that you're running into, maybe some of the fears, or what's stopping you. So, question of the day, what is stopping you from following your dreams? What is stopping you from pursuing your dreams and having a life that you can be, proud of and happy? That's it for today. Remember to subscribe to this channel, give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and hit me up on Twitter with your questions or leave them in the comment below. I'll be reading.